Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into Tom Curran's Patriots Talk Podcast. Alongside Phil Perry, we are prepared now to bring you the aftermath. And the aftermath is of a 27-14 win for the Patriots over the moribund New York Jets. Patriots improving to 9-2, eighth win in a row. They're averaging 29 points a game during this 8-game winning streak. Phil, it's eye-popping, and I say to you that these are the good old days. This will be the first time that these Patriots get to, and only time, get to enjoy this kind of sneaking up on everybody, exceeding expectations, the enthusiasm of guys you just met that you're fighting next to every week. And I love these guys. Everything is new and shiny for this iteration of the New England Patriots. And then they go out and they do exactly what their coach hoped they would and expected them to, because they have set such a standard for week in, week out behavior of being disciplined, answering the bell. And on a short week, Mike Vrabel, Phil, was giddy about an organization-wide performance. He said when he can, and Phil, you'll get to talk, believe me. This is about it for me.
You're rolling right now.
But Mike Vrabel said that he wanted to protect the team at all costs and players who put the team first. Well, this organization right now, and he said that actually organization-wide when he was in his introductory press conference, everybody who's involved in the team has to protect the team and put it first. Listen to Mike Vrabel talk about his team and organization's performance leading into a short week game against the moribund New York Jets.
Yeah, I mean, testament to our players, our staff. I thanked them so many times, just being able to roll in there on Monday, have stuff prepared. You know, it's hard to, go on the road to Tampa, and get your mind, ready for that. But also in the back of your mind, you've got a whole other box about, what are you going to do against the Jets, and being able to get on a plane, come home, get in late, but have that ready to go and have energy and a game plan ready for the players on Monday at 1 o'clock. So thank the trainers, thank the staff, the strength staff, everybody involved for getting our players ready to go for the game here in a short week.
Does it stop there? No, it doesn't. No. They didn't just win the game and then that's it. They're going on their weekend, jetting off to parts unknown. No. Bobby Spillane, and I can call him Bobby, he told me I could, said they're going to be back in there lifting weights.
Now you've got at least a few days off. How important is that for this team to take some time off?
I'm expecting to see a bunch of guys in the facility throughout the weekend. I'd be very surprised if we don't have 30, 40, 50 guys here over the weekend looking to get recovered, extra lifts in, because we know the real season is ahead of us. Everything that's in the past is in the past, and going forward, this is our season.
Phil Perry, the floor is yours. Tell me about this game and your reaction to it.
This is a taking care of business kind of game. I said beforehand this was a Mike Vrabel game because the things that usually decide Thursday night games, Tom, are mindset, effort, focus, details, throw in which team recovered better during the week leading up to the game, and all of those things, for me, fall under the purview of the head coach. So this was a big game for Mike Vrabel, who's had a really good season, obviously, who has all the buy-in in the world from his team to this point in the season, obviously. But it was an opportunity for his team to show on a national stage what kind of impact their head coach has had on them and their organization. And I think it was a positive night for Vrabel and his staff. He, of course, deflected after the game about all the people that helped them get ready for this game and be able to perform the way they did. But he deserves a lot of credit for that. So check mark for Mike Vrabel. Check mark for them as a team, just taking care of business against a team that they should have beaten. Good for them, but we know on Thursday night things can get weird.
They can get weird. They can. And it's 12:57 as we tape this on a Thursday night, Friday morning. But I want to circle back on something that you mentioned about the appreciation that the players are showing for Vrabel. And this is Michael Hurley. Got this up on our website, post-haste. Transcribing some of the conversations on the Prime post-game show after Thursday Night Football. And this was Drake Maye talking about Vrabel. He said he brings it every day. He brings it every day, and he cares about us. Coach is hard. We love playing for him. I love playing for him. He's coaching me on different things besides where to throw the ball. I think that's the biggest thing about him is coaching leadership and coaching me every day. He says something to me after almost every drive. I appreciate what he's done for me and what he's done for the football team. Vrabel, in turn, said, I came here because of the familiarity. I came here because of Drake. I knew what he would be, and it was important for me to come here, and that's someone I wanted to coach. This is a match made in football heaven to an extent, especially if you're a Patriots fan. If you're a Jets fan, you want to throw up everywhere. I pray that you were already in bed and didn't fall asleep on your couch in the fourth quarter and wake up to see that, because it's just got to be hell. Hell to know that the Patriots are married up and enjoying life like you never have.
And it's
Unless
feel
you're
like,
60.
Well, you got
Older than 60.
Yeah, you got to be older than 60 to know and appreciate Namath.
So if you were 12, like say you were 12, you have to have been born in 1957.
So where's that put you?
Like 67, 67.
68?
Yeah. Jets fans who experience good times.
I think it's a match made in football heaven in part, Tom, because of the way those two guys are wired. Right? I think they see the sport through a similar lens. And I bet in some ways their football maturation has been similar, even though they come from very different families, right? Mike Vrabel's an only child. Drake Maye's got 3 older brothers. You know, Vrabel's the kind of guy who just feels like he would be his most authentic self in a locker room environment. And Drake Maye grew up in a locker room environment. He never left. You know, he was born into one. And so I just feel like they already kind of have maybe a similar worldview in some ways. And it just allows them to see the game in a similar manner. And they're both highly competitive. We know that. And it looks like they're going to be wedded for a long time to come here.
I like your observation.
Thank you.
I do. I really do. Because I think that stuff is really fascinating. Birth order, how did you grow up, what were your siblings like? That stuff forms us. Home life, all that. Anyway, that's for another day. The sociological aspects of the New England Patriots will be plumbed at a later date. What's the national conversation going to be like over the next few days? Nothing to chew on until Sunday morning, except for this game. And chew on it, people will.
They will, and I think in a weird way, the Patriots in 2025 are becoming, if they're not there already, America's darling.
Sure.
But, Tom, this is a team that has been hated for a long period of time. I just think they're the hot new thing right now between the head coach that everybody loves and the quarterback that everybody loves and the unexpected nature of this run that they're on. They're getting all kinds of love already, even before this game was played, from national pundits. And so I just assume that's only going to continue moving forward here.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it first. I knew it first is going to be on the lips of every person who looked at the Vrabel, McDaniels, Maye marriage and said it's going to work. Everyone figured it would work to a greater extent than the latter days of Bill and last year's bridge year with Gerard. You anticipated it would work, but nowhere near this fast. And to see it germinate that way and blossom and so many other horticultural things that have happened here, it's astounding. So the story, the Patriots are the story. If Sports Illustrated, do they even put out a magazine anymore?
They do, I believe. Yeah.
It's a shame. That was just an absolute staple of my youth and on, because I'm an older fella. They would be on the cover of Sports Illustrated by now. And if not, they're definitely going to be on the cover for next week, although Thursday's too early. But the Patriots are going to capture people's attention because of the Vrabel story, spurned by a team that still sucks, now back here where he was, flourishing in a way that Belichick did not. Excuse me, not that Belichick did not, obviously. Flourishing in an almost anti-Belichick fashion, despite having, and Vrabel has said this, Belichick had a great influence on him as a player and shaping a lot of his strategies. Mike pushes away the notion that he's anything off of the Belichick tree as a coach, but that aspect is fascinating. The May aspect, obviously, is fascinating on so many levels. So Stephon Diggs, who had another brilliant game tonight, is fascinating. The number of underdogs on this roster, from Tonga to Hollins to
Spillane.
Thank you,
Dr.
Jack Westover,
Gibby,
of course.
Jack Gibbons.
Yeah. So it's a very embraceable story, and I think that the media will gravitate toward it, and the casual football fan will gravitate toward it. The passionate fan, in whether it's Kansas City, Indianapolis, Buffalo, Miami, places where you have long-suffering fan bases who got their faces stomped in on a regular basis by annoying Patriots fans and the Patriots team, they're beside themselves, Phil.
They've got to be, because it just looks like, let's just focus on this year's team. Forget about what might become of the Patriots over the course of the next 10 years, led by Vrabel and Maye. But this year's team alone, Tom, has got to make you sick if you're somebody who loathes the Patriots, because they shouldn't be this good, and yet they are, and the vibes, as the kids would say, are incredibly high, and you're just going to be inundated until Sunday with images of, Vrabel doing the receiver celebration in the tunnel of Gillette Stadium as the players are walking into the locker room. They're 9-2. It's just it's all coming up Patriots right now, and it's not supposed to happen this year, which I think makes it especially annoying to people who are inclined to feel that way.
And football fans, the more ardent fans, the national media is going to do what national media does. And there's going to be outliers who say the Patriots haven't played anybody, and no, they haven't, except for the Jets, except for the Bucks, the Bills, and the Bucks.
The Falcons aren't a horrible team,
no,
and the Panthers have turned into not a horrible team.
Yeah, but the Patriots can't control that.
Right.
But I'm just saying there'll be outlier folks who point to those games. Meanwhile, you see, the darling Green Bay Packers, who everyone loved Jordan Love, not to be redundant, getting their doors blown off by Carolina.
They lost
You
to
see
Carolina.
Buffalo getting blasted in the head by Miami.
The head.
I don't know. I'm tired.
It's violent.
I was going to try to have somebody poleaxed. It's one of my favorite. I don't even know
That's a
what
good one.
poleaxed
That's a
means.
good one. I used solar plexus the other day. You ever use that?
You ever
one?
get hit there? Do you know where they are?
It's like right in
It
here.
really
isn't it?
hurts.
Oh, I said Vita Vea put his helmet into Drake Maye's solar plexus on an incompletion, and then he hit Mac Hollins on a 54-yard throw down the field on the very next play, which made it one of the most impressive throws
It's
of
a
the year to
terrible
me.
place to get hit because your stomach hurts, your lungs hurt, your heart hurts.
It's just a fun thing to say, though.
Yeah. Back to live action. Drake Maye's performance. Again, it's like standard. It's ridiculous. He starts 11 for 11, and you're like, yeah, well, where's my long throw? Where's my touchdown pass? And he's just a fish in his hell. Didn't have an incompletion until Stephon Diggs was not able to come up with a throw that he probably should have had. I thought Diggs got whacked in the ribs there. I'm not going to be surprised if I see him on the injury report next Wednesday with ribs. Came back. He got a
As
knee
the
in the
defender
ribs.
was flying by.
Yeah, I got a knee in the ribs. I pride myself, folks, on being an armchair trainer and medical diagnoser. Phil knows this by now. Oh, that's an Oma. Anyway, here is Mike Vrabel from the podium, not going gaga over the performance of Drake Maye.
Well, I would say his
Your
performance
record.
in general has been, what we expect. And, we have high expectations for Drake. He has high expectations for himself. He'll continue to improve. I know that he'll stay humble through this all. And, again, and as far as the performance tonight, I thought it was, again, in first view, pretty good. It was good enough to win. We took care of the football. We just have to, continue to focus on the little things, operation, unforced errors throughout the offense. The only thing that's really stops us is us, offensively.
And when I say not going gaga, I'm not saying that he was down on him. He just says, yep, that's what he's supposed to do.
That's what we expect.
Great player.
Expectation.
Great player. I want to see a great player play great. So I'm not going to go bananas when he does it. What did you think of Maye's performance on Thursday night?
I thought he was tremendous. The first half, so efficient. For that first incompletion to be the pass that Diggs dropped, which I thought was a pretty good ball.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows you how dialed in he is, even on a short week. And even when you would think maybe there's some elements of the game plan that aren't yet fully formed because it's a short week or not totally tailored to whatever it is the Jets might do. You're also not sure what the Jets might do because the Bucs did some interesting things in terms of dropping people into coverage that gave the Patriots a little bit of a hard time, and that's not typically what the Jets do. We did see the Jets do some of that tonight in terms of not a lot of bodies in the pass rush, a lot of bodies in the secondary. Didn't matter. Drake Maye, as he typically does, whether you throw man at him or zone at him, blitzes, man blitzes, zone pressures, games up front, stunts, twists, send a bunch of people into the rush, send a bunch of people into coverage. He and Josh McDaniels are able to come up with answers very consistently, Tom. And I thought his best drive of the game was his first touchdown drive in the second half, where there were a number of plays where he extended the play, but there were a couple where he extended it in the pocket, which to me showed some maturity, two hands on the football, just understanding how to maneuver. He's just getting so good at that.
You're going to love the highlight of him being on the sideline and just saying, oh, somebody's there, playground play. But I really liked football-wise the stepping up in the pocket the way he did. Two hands on the football. He was sloppy with it last year. He was sloppy with it earlier this year. Again, to make improvements as the season is going and to just file away things while bigger picture things are hitting you every week in terms of game plan and personnel and everything else. But if they give you some kind of fundamental detail that makes sure you don't forget to do this and you don't revert to your old ways while trying to execute a play, that's immense.
It's 2 weeks in a row now, too. That he had that great play where he sort of swims around Vita Vea with two hands on the football. You know, he's just, it feels like it's become part of his habit now when operating behind center. So 3 first down throws, 1 to Hollins, 1 to Diggs. The other, which you mentioned, the dump off to Diggs right on the sideline where I'm not even sure Diggs was expecting it, but just a very Mahomesian kind of, whoop, here you go. Not trick play for another first down and then the touchdown throw to Travion Henderson. That drive to me is why you hear MVP chants in the stands.
Looked like Travion Henderson ran with way more confidence. He's not obviously putting up the numbers that you would expect from a top-tier running back like a Gibbs or a Christian McCaffrey, but the talent is obviously there, and I just don't think he has the holes to run through quite yet. He's not getting the opportunities to roam free, but he's running with so much confidence. That move that he put on for, was it the first or second touchdown, where he just froze the defender?
First one. He sort of weaved through a number of bodies there that were kind of unchecked, unblocked. They were like traffic cones.
I'm not saying he scored the touchdown because the Jets suck.
No, they're not very good.
Didn't help.
But I liked that he ran hard near the goal line.
Yes. And
I like that he ran hard in general. There was one play that he really finished and stuck his helmet right, into someone's sternum.
Solar plexus.
Put him on the ground. But you're right. They just still, the consistency of the run game isn't there. He had 19 carries for 62 yards, 3.3 average. Dearness Johnson had 3 carries for 6 yards. So they were about 3 yards even, 3.1 per carry with their running backs. It's just, they are living like this, so I can't say you can't live like this. I can't be outraged. But the run game just continues to be pretty poor.
Let's, for the hell of it, because we will have, by the time post-game has ended, we've done an hour and a half of Patriots bouquets. And we're going to do them again in quick slants on the next Pat's podcast, which are both going to be on television later today.
Friday shows, Big Friday.
Let's talk about the things that need cleaning up. Tempo at the end of the first half seemed head-scratching. Kyle Williams still doesn't seem exactly where he's ought to be. Running game is still a bit of a slog, I mentioned here. Red zone defense is continuing to be the worst in the National Football League, believe it or not. They were 32nd coming in.
Jets were 1 for 2, I believe, today in the red zone.
Did they not get in the red zone on that little fall down by Craig Woodson?
I don't think they did.
Okay.
So that, yeah.
So they
Technically it
dodge
doesn't
it. But you had a fairly easy touchdown run by Justin Fields when Justin Fields was absolutely the only threat. You really shouldn't lose contain. Another first drive touchdown. The Jets had only scored 3 touchdowns coming into this game on their first 36 drives through the first 9 games of their season. They had 3 touchdowns, and they put.
Well, you've got the great stat, and I just added to it because you had the stat coming into the game. But now, considering today's game, 82 of the 206 points the Patriots have allowed this season have come on the first 2 drives of their opponent.
I have no idea.
Almost
I don't know.
50%.
Yeah, no. Bless them for fixing it up, but you don't want to fall behind a good team, 7-0, and you don't want to stumble around at the end of the half. Like I don't get the mindset switching. Phil,
Well, no, I'm curious your thoughts on the end of the half. I'm glad you're getting back into it here. What bothered you about that?
What bothered me was, the Jets couldn't score 30 points if you locked them in the gym all night by themselves. So they're running a drive, and it's about 2.5 minutes left. I don't have the game book open here. About 2.5 minutes left, and it seemed as if, hey, good time to maybe burn a timeout prior to the 2-minute warning, get the 2-minute warning timeout, another clock stoppage, force them to punt, which they ultimately did. You get the ball back. You have the opportunity to use spikes and your timeouts and get down the field. By the time the Patriots got the ball back, it was right after the 2-minute warning.
1:48 left. It looked like, yeah.
They took over. You got it open. So where did Marcus Jones catch that punt? Around the own 45 or 40?
I just was looking at something else.
Sorry, bruv.
That's okay. We got it here. So, they had the ball at the 40. Their 41-yard line.
Okay, they took the ball with 1:48 left.
With 1:48 left.
All right, do me a solid. Where were they with 45 seconds left?
45 seconds left. They were
Still just hanging around?
How about with 34 seconds left? Drake Maye was sacked, but that was negated by a Jets illegal contact penalty, which gave them an automatic first down.
Where were they?
So that was at the New England 45.
So they
got 4 yards.
In a minute.
When
you're supposed to be moving quick. And you could see Mike Vrabel gesturing on the sideline. Let's go a little bit. But why is the mindset, and they articulated it a couple weeks ago, Mike had said in the Atlanta game, we were just trying to get into halftime. We made a mistake. We gave up a fumble recovery, which turned into a touchdown.
Is that at the backs of their minds as they're going through a drive like that? Let's just play it safe.
I don't think it should be. You have an opportunity to put your foot on the throat of a team, almost kind of finish it off. It was 14-7 at the time, correct?
14-7, yes.
14-7. You got the ball at your own 41. You have all your timeouts. You could have had even more time. Just plow down there. And if you give it back to the Jets, say you go 3 and out within 25 seconds. Now the Jets have 1:30 left and the ball at their own 20, worst case scenario. Oh, my God, what is going to happen? I mean, it took them 13 plays to score the first time around in 8 minutes. They're not going to plow down the field.
Right.
So
you think it's an overreaction potentially to what happened in that Atlanta game?
No, because that was the mindset in the Atlanta game. The Atlanta game mindset when I thought that.
Well, that was a shotgun snap. It looked like they were trying to.
But that wasn't a kind of a afterthought. They got forced into third down in that game.
You might be right. I may be.
I think they were just kind of just dicking around in that one too. I don't know if I can say that. Bleep it if you have to.
Casey will do the right thing.
Why do you get into these? Don't let teams off the hook. You have an MVP candidate.
It was very reminiscent to me of some of the end of half drives that we used to see under Bill Belichick, and it always felt like if the offense showed him something, meaning, okay, if he calls a draw on 1st and 10 from his own 20 and they pick up 10 yards, all right, green light. Let's try to get some points here. And they might push it a little bit. This is post Brady era. When they had Brady, I think for the most part they probably would have handled things a little bit differently. But if that same 1st and 10 draw went for 2, then it was okay. This is probably not our drive, guy. Let's just get back in the
let some time go off, and then we'll run another play.
Run it into the line again. Then maybe we'll even just take a knee on 3rd down and just get back into the locker room. And I don't totally blame them. I can see their side if they wanted to play conservative, Tom, because of the point you mentioned, which is the Jets can't score. So if they're looking at it and saying, well, the only way they can score here is if we get strip sacked and the only way the Jets will score to end the half here is if we somehow turn it over and they run it back for a touchdown. We're up 7. We're going to get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. What are the odds, that the Jets are going to be scoring many points tonight?
Yeah.
Like, we have the lead already. Let's just play it safe, and we'll probably be fine. I kind of understand that, but I lean more towards your side. Be aggressive. Your quarterback's on fire. Throw the football. Use your timeouts. Try to put some points on the board. And that is seemingly, Tom, what they've wanted to do over the course of the season.
Right.
How many times do they go for it on 4th down? They are generally speaking aggressive, but they weren't in that instance.
Yeah, they're aggressive, but maybe they feel uncomfortable in trying to be aggressive in terms of tempo, consistent tempo. We can be aggressive in an organized drive where we are managing, but if it turns into a little half of a fire drill here and Drake's making decisions, we have a lot of communication, then we don't want to do that because there's the threat of a strip sack on every single play.
Right.
So the idea that, well, we don't want to give them a chance to score, and I'm not rebutting you, I'm just saying I disagree with it because there's the threat of a strip sack on every down. So the damage done with 1.5 minutes left in the half or with 14:27 left in the 3rd quarter, it's the same thing. And it's deflating when you don't do anything at all and then miss a 45-yard field goal. That's almost as deflating as, well, it's deflating.
Well, and
just take a run at it.
Well, and what makes it kind of odd was that they did have a change in heart halfway through the thing. So they get to that point that I just described to you at their own 45. They spend a minute getting 4 yards. But as soon as they got that illegal contact penalty that gave them their first down on the drive, well, now it was like, okay, well, let's go for it. Because the very next play, I'm just reading the play-by-play now. Deep pass, incomplete to Kyle Williams. Pass to Travion Henderson for 10 yards. Pass to Diggs for 12 yards. So now they're chucking it. They're calling timeouts. They used their second timeout after that completion to Diggs. It was like the clock was stopped. They had 9 seconds. I thought, oh, okay, I guess they are going for it. Maybe they'll take a shot at the end zone here, and if they don't get it, well, clock stops, incomplete pass. You'll still probably have time to kick a field goal. And instead, they just run a draw into the line for 1 yard, use their last timeout, and kick the field goal and miss it. So it was just an odd way to start it, and I would love to get some clarification from Vrabel, hopefully tomorrow, as to why that began the way it began. Because once they got that first down, it was like throw, timeout, let's try to put points on the board.
Honestly, they won. They covered. The Jets were never a threat. But if they played tonight against a better team, I don't think the outcome would have been either this decisive or perhaps they would have won. I
You just think they played a great game?
No, I think they had some great. I think they had some great plays, but you can't lose contain on a one-dimensional quarterback. And Justin Fields ran for 7 first downs. I don't know how many. I think they had 16 first downs total. The dingbats there. He ran for 7. They lost contain. The Patriots, I don't think are this is the issue that will, as the season goes along, and I'm not discounting how good they've been, but these are kind of the soft underbellies that teams can look at. They're not that efficient in their 2-minute. They're not great at it yet. They can lose contain. They don't have a great running game, and they are horrible as a red zone defense. Horrible. Those are the things that teams are going to look at, better teams. And are there better teams? You loyal listeners might be sitting out there and saying, who are the better teams? You think Danny Jones is going to start late? Bo Nix? It's Mahomes and Allen and Jackson. And fortunately for the Patriots, and I don't care if they lose those games if I'm a Patriots fan. I don't care if they lose those games to the Bills and Ravens, if they learn something and get better because of those losses. Because they're going to have a great opportunity. I've said it a few times, and now it actually comes clear again. Great prep for this team to be able to play the Bills and Ravens later in the season because they're going to the playoffs. Find out what you're like at the end of the season. You've already got a checkpoint against the Bills. Terrific. You got another checkpoint against Tampa. Terrific. These are all small little PSATs that are going to go on between now and Baltimore and Buffalo. But to me, the season really maps out nicely for them in terms of who they're playing, when they're playing them, and that these good teams are spread out. You can get all these little checkpoints and say, okay, we got a real test now. We have a real running quarterback now who can also throw it.
Well, and it's a great point that you made there because I think teams like the Ravens and Bills will look at this game, and the one thing they may take away, big picture, you can obviously look at the season-long numbers and say, boy, they don't operate defensively in the red zone all that well. They don't run the ball all that efficiently. But the quarterback run game is something that the Bills might be able to take advantage of now. Why wouldn't you just run zone read? Those are some pretty simple plays. There were a couple where they gave the ball to the back. There were a couple where Justin Fields was able to keep it. That zone read thing is a very rudimentary football 101 kind of play that the Bills and Ravens can run in their sleep. So is that something that teams will pick up on now and try to use against the Patriots? I think the Patriots, even though this Jets team is not a great opponent, I just really appreciated the professionalism of the game. Because even though they had some mistakes, they had a couple holding penalties on the tackles, each had one. They had a couple of drops. Diggs, you could say, had a couple. He had that one, which was weird. I thought it was a catch still. I thought as long as you controlled the ball, it could move a little bit once you hit the ground. But maybe they determined he did not really control the ball.
Yeah, I thought it was close to the Bert Emanuel rule, which I love referencing.
You do, and I can never remember what it is because you reference it about once a year, and I never remember.
It was a play at a Tampa Bay against the Rams playoff game, and Bert Emanuel for Tampa Bay had a catch in which both hands were in a vice grip on the ball, and the ball hit the ground, but it didn't move at all. It was basically he used the ball to land on, and it didn't move. And they ruled that not a catch because it hit the ground. And then they changed the rule to be, okay, you can hit the ground if it doesn't move. So this moved.
It moved. It certainly moved. For some reason, I had it in my head. As long as you retained possession of the ball, there was a little bit of wiggle room. No,
it didn't survive the ground.
Either way,
name for a band or an album.
Not a perfect game.
Would Survive the Ground be a good name for an album?
Yeah, I kind of like that.
All right, cool.
Or a band.
Kind of long.
STG. But only 2 penalties, Tom. Only 2 penalties for the Patriots in this game. No turnovers. So it was a clean game.
No, it was a clean game.
They played a clean game, and they were the smarter team. Think about the stupid thing some of the Jets did just really quickly. After the first drive, they refused in the first half at least. After the first drive, they refused to run Justin Fields. He didn't have another run after the first drive, according to the stats that I was looking at halftime. So he runs his face off to a touchdown on the game's opening drive, and then the Jets say, you know what, that was fun. Let's just make sure we don't do that again. Because why would we ever want to score? What are you thinking, Aaron Glenn and your staff? The intentional grounding penalty, that was a stupid thing to do by Justin Fields. And how about the tipman? And I don't even know this guy's first name. I should because I can vaguely remember him from
Lonnie.
I can vaguely remember him from draft coverage. But he comes up with a late hit. I think the Jets had actually maybe stopped the Patriots.
Oh, yeah, where he pushed Jalen Hawkins.
And he shoved Jalen Hawkins at the end of the play to give the Patriots a first down.
And also the throwing the Diggs to the ground. You can't do that.
Throwing Diggs to the ground.
You can't do
another
that.
one. Another good one. Right off the bat.
I was with
That
Michael
one of the
Hawley.
first plays of the game.
He's like, come on, that's borderline. And I think it's a penalty not only for quarterbacks, but when you heave somebody to the ground.
I think the whistle was being blown too. I think there was a timing element too that maybe contributed to the penalty.
Yeah, I don't
there.
think you can suplex people. I think there's a suplex rule.
But they were clean in the coverage game. The Jets,
Yeah.
they have been good returning the football all year. It was not just last week when they had 2 returns for touchdowns. So even though the opponent, you're not going to get a ton from playing an opponent like that, on a short week to play a relatively clean game the way they did, I thought was a real testament to where they are as a team. They're a mature football team, Tom.
Small picture, short week, several injuries, building pressure on you, a second-year quarterback to come out and win by 13 and take care of business is a sign of team maturity, full-on buy-in, sea change in terms of culture. All of those things are true, and it's a wonderful story unfolding, which should continue to go on. However, to look at it objectively, there are aspects of the game, not really the personnel, but aspects of the game that you look at and go, I wonder if that's going to be something that they really have to focus in on trying to improve, or can they improve? Because their 2-minute offense, I can't even tell if they're afraid to run it. Like, again, so 2-minute offense, red zone, running game, and will it improve with Stevenson? All those things are valid questions. I think that's a wrap. You got next Pats.
Good next Pats. We're going to have Devin McCourty on. He was on the call tonight for Westwood 1. So he's a busy man, but he's going to do some next Pats tomorrow. We'll break things down. We'll get his perspective on the game, where the Patriots are at right now. And then we've got Quick Slants.
You'll be with me for
I'm going to be with you for Quick Slants if you need me. You need me?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
All right, everyone, have a great weekend. We will see you on Quick Slants and Next Pats tomorrow. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to go down to Charleston, go see Danny Curran, hang out with Danny for the weekend.
Enjoy that.
Not even the weekend. It's like 18 hours. Be that as it may.
One of my favorite cities to visit.
I've only been there once.
You're going to have a great time.
We stayed at Wild Dunes, just outside the city. Played some golf at the Isle of Palms. There was a couple golf courses there. I don't know if I'm going to get any golf in.
I think you'll find a way.
Can I go hit balls, Danny? All right. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend.